Love them or hate them. Now the Fold 3 and the Flip 3 are some two brilliant phones, especially when you start using these devices as your daily drivers. You'll get to know these devices better, and these phones can handle your day-to-day tasks very well. There are very few things about these phones that you can really hate.
But what about those creases that are caused by folding the phone?
Yeah, there are some things here and there, but then let's discuss what's good, the small little things that need improvement, and we'll talk about how is our experience been with these phones for the last 2 months of using these phones as our daily drivers. Let's dig in and find out. Now, before we get into any advantages or disadvantages for either of these phones, we need to understand that the Fold 3 and the Flip 3 are the third iterations from Samsung. The previous two iterations of these phones, the Fold 1, the Fold 2, the Flip 1 and the Flip 2, were not really received well in the market because there were a lot of hardware issues with the phone, and even the reviews for these phones were not that great. But Samsung went back to the R&D department, worked on all of those issues, and then finally delivered us the Fold 3 and the Flip 3 this year. Now let's start talking about the advantages that we got with the updates. In terms of the advantage, we now have a folding phone which has an IPX6 rating. So this is dust resistant as well as it's water resistant up to 6 meters, both of these phones. And Samsung has achieved this for the first time in the world. It's not been done by anybody where folding phones are concerned. Last year they did introduce folding glass, which was again not done, but then they have perfected it. The creases now on both of these phones for displays are much lesser as compared to the previous iterations. They're still there, and as somebody interrupted me earlier, that you do feel the creases. So if you're a person who's very finicky about how your phone should be, though it's not that visible, but you do get to feel that crease when you're using that phone on a day-to-day basis. However, the hardware is much more improved on both of these phones. They're much more usable. The folding mechanism on both of these phones, as per Samsung, can withstand around 260,000 folds. That's quite a lot. So if you really put that into perspective, you might spend around 5 years on a normal daily usage, and these phones will still be up and running, and the hinge mechanism will perform the way it performed even on the first day. Let's talk about the display. Now, the Fold 2 and the Flip 2, when they were launched, they came with 120 Hz of display. These phones do have the same, but now the displays are much brighter. Now on a daily basis, when I'm using these phones outdoors, I'm able to go through my emails or even watch content much better, and they're much more usable as compared to the previous phones. The other thing is the improved camera system. The S21 Ultra gave us a benchmark where phone photography was concerned by Samsung. These are some similar sensors which are in the Fold 3 and the Flip 2, and they perform really well. So if you are into content creation as well, you do have a versatile camera system to shoot your videos with, and a larger display to view your content. And the added benefit with the new Fold 3s, this also supports S Pen, so it's easy to edit through or use the stylus on the Fold 3 now, which was not previously available on the Fold 1 and the Fold 2. But what about the folding aspects of these phones? Is it really practical? Let's start by talking about the Flip 3 in that case. The Flip 3, when I use it on a daily basis, I keep it folded, which it should be. But then when I get notifications, I don't really have to access my whole screen. I can see it on the 2.1-inch screen, which is on the outside. I can also use it as a camera when I require. So I don't really need to open the phone. But yes, this is not really practical, but if I switch to it, I can always do it. The other advantage of the secondary screen is, for example, if I want to capture something and I want that person, like for example, I'm capturing an interview or possibly a vlog, and I want the person to see what he's doing or how he looks in the frame, I just switch to the secondary camera. I'm able to see what I'm capturing, and the other person is also able to see what I'm capturing if he's looking good on the frame. And also when I start recording, it will display the time, so he knows when it's time to talk, when it's time to stop. We've been using these phones to shoot our daily reels, and they help me exceptionally because during multiple takes, I get to know when I should start talking and when I should not. So it helps and cuts down time for me. With respect to the Fold 3, I feel that this phone is more of a device for me as a content creator or a person who's a lot on emails or social media, is because whenever I need a larger display to view or consume my content or even answer my emails, I have a larger 7.6-inch display on the inside. But when I'm on the go, when I just need to probably reply to a message or even answer calls, I have a 6.2-inch display on the outside, which is very usable as compared to the previous iterations of these phones. And quite honestly, I get around 2 days of battery usage from the Fold 3, whereas maybe I sometimes able to get a day's usage out of the Flip 3. It's not bad. Now when I say my usage, I'm always on the phone. So in spite of that, this is doing good. But for 2 days, if I'm able to use this phone, this is brilliant. In spite of the larger screen real estate on this phone, yes, this does have larger batteries. I love the cameras on the Fold 3, but there's one thing that I don't like is the main selfie camera which I have on the inside. It's because Samsung has tried the in-display camera sensor here with the Fold 3, but it's not near perfect. So you will see that there is a faint aura that develops on the images when you're clicking pictures. We have some samples out for you guys. Now, since I'm not really able to use the in-display camera sensor that well, I am still able to use the main sensors as my selfie camera as well. All I need to do is just start off my secondary screen, and I will be able to use this as my viewfinder. This also helps me when I'm recording a vlog for the other person. Like in case of Flip 3, I'm able to showcase the second person, or he is able to use that camera or the smaller 2.1-inch display as a reference point. Here, the person has a 6.2-inch display as a reference point. So it's quite practical that way. And then again, we get the S Pen support for the Fold 3, which was not there in the previous variations. So you have a very small compact tablet which is in your hand, which acts as a tablet when you need it, or you can just fold it out and use it as a normal phone. And it sits quite comfortably in your hand. It's like the relay runners, they have that baton in their hand, they have to carry it around. It has that firm grip. So I've not ever even accidentally felt that the phone will ever slip out because of the combination of the textured or matte finished glass at the back. Yes, the front glass is a fingerprint magnet, but then you guys have seen it in cricket, right? I don't know if I should say that, dude. The Flip 3, though it's nice, I think this is something that would appeal to women more because of the practical aspects, or just flip it down, put it in your purse. In order to conclude this video, I'm going to ask myself this question. Will I ever recommend these phones to anybody after having used them for 2 months? Quite honestly, I will definitely recommend these phones after having used them properly for 2 months, is because we are now in a proper evolved ecosystem of folding phones. It's no more a gimmick. They're very practical, and if you're a person who's worried that you're very clumsy, you might break them, these phones are very well built. So you're gonna have a tough time breaking these guys. And right now the market is quite evolved. There are a lot of phones that you can go out and spend your money on. But if you are one person who's been having in two minds, if you should have a proper normal brick phone or a folding phone, because that's something that you used in the past and the future is something that you're not really confident about, I think the Flip 3 or the Fold 3 is something that you should definitely check out. This is Aurelio signing out from Pinkvilla Tech. Stay tuned for more such videos and reviews. If there's anything that you guys would like us to cover in particular, do leave us a comment. Like, subscribe, and do share so that we grow as well. Have a good evening ahead.